Hi. So, this month's prompt was to write a poem based on something you've forgotten. Something you've forgotten. And my first thought was, how do you write about something you've forgotten if you don't remember it? So I kind of reified, forgetting and thought about things where there are gaps and things we don't know and things society doesn't know and so forth. So this is called The Forgotten. Doctor says to find your blind spots, stare one-eyed at a thumb and move the other till it's gone. It's cool when it works, but I call shenanigans because it feels like a parlor trick, like stealing a baby's nose, or Mac the dog chasing little Tina through her bedroom wall into the fourth dimension. My left ear is tone deaf, but I hear tinnitus just fine 24/7. And it's probably relic audio waves from Pink Floyd's Welcome to the Machine, cranked at 11 through headphones when I was stupid. So I'm at an open mic in Tuckerton, and no one under 30 knows Harry Chapin. While 60 miles and 60 years away in Homedale, scientists hear some static through pigeon shit, and it supposedly echoes of the Big Bang, 14 billion years old. The world is sketchy, off kilter and out of sync, random at best. Surfing a sine wave of shifting frequencies, too focused on balancing to hearken the sharks swarming our boards. Naysayers say seeing infinities drove Georg Cantor to insanity. And supporters suggest Cantor's mentality helped him imagine infinities. Doing forced labor at church bingo, I jingle my keys for 066 to tease the to tease the hexaconta hexaphobiacs who jingled bells to scare the beast, even if his number may really be 616. The things we'll never know, like who really knifed Nicole and Ron. On a freshly painted wall in the museum of my brain, a scratchy Super 8 film loops, invisible gorilla tossing something I've forgotten to 3-year-old me's POV between shadowy woolen trousers that may or may not be all I have left of my paternal grandfather. And it tumbles into my child eye's blind spot. Gone again, forever removed, like light sucked from an event horizon. So there's a lot of illusions here, from events in my lifetime and before that are, questionable and dubious. But, everyone has blind spots, right? And it's a natural thing. Each eye has a blind spot where the optic nerve, comes out of your the back of your eye to the brain, right? So there are no photosensors there, so your brain has to fill in the gap in each eye. And that's you're talking about blind spots, and then when it feels there's a way to find it, like you stare at your thumb, and then when one disappears, oh, that's your blind spot. I mean, it's in a sense, but it feels like a trick, and it feels kind of silly when you think about it. And then I've got gaps in my hearing because of playing. It's not from playing music too loud, but I have probably a congenital bone that doesn't vibrate in my ear. But I could say it's from playing music too loud. It would, whatever. And then last month I was at Tuckerton, and we were. Someone played a Harry Chapin song, and all the old people knew it was Harry Chapin, but the young people had never heard of Harry Chapin. And it's not that long ago, and even though he still played on, like oldies radio, young people don't know who he is. Even though people my age, Harry Chapin was a huge part of our lives, in our earlier years. And then not that far away, in space and time, scientists heard the cosmic background radiation, and they first thought it was an error, this static that they heard, and then they thought it was caused by pigeon shit, and in pigeons that had roosted in the building where they had their devices where they were listening to the universe, right? And they wiped off the pigeon shit, and the sound was still there. So they said, "Oh, I guess this really is this background." And then it's what they were looking for all along, they said, which was the cosmic background radiation from the Big Bang. And is it? I don't know. It sounds kind of stupid to me, but all the scientists agree that's what it is. So that's why I think things just sometimes they just feel random and out of sync, is what I say in the other stanza. And then then there's this thing where nobody agrees to Georg Cantor, the mathematician. He went, it's nice that people like to think, oh, he went insane because he saw infinity. He was doing multiple infinities, and it drove him crazy. And other people say, well, he was bipolar, and he really, it was his condition that enabled to look further into things. So I don't know which is true. And then I got stuck on the word, people that are afraid of 666. Hexacosioi, hexacanta, hexaphobiacs. I wish I read it like that when I did the poem, but I didn't want to do another take and probably skip up, mess it up again. But, there are those that say, well, the devil's number or the beast's number really is 616. It was a transcription error. And then people say, well, if you're reading in Latin or you're reading in Greek, it's one or the other. I don't know, but... and then who killed Nicole and Ron? Who killed Nicole Simpson? Did O.J. do it or did he not? I don't know. It's something that it's not that long ago, really, but it's something we'll never know. Is it forgotten or is it just something we'll never know? I don't know. And then I talk about in my brain. There's a part in my brain where there's stuff I remember and stuff I don't remember. And it's like the invisible gorilla test, where people were focusing on one thing and they didn't see the gorilla walk through the room. Does their brain have it? I don't know. Is it in the brain or not? I really don't know. And there's this memory I have of my grandfather now. I don't remember him, but I have this shadowy memory of being in my aunt's house, my father's cousin, which was my aunt, and just standing at the feet of this man, and I think it was my grandfather. And I just remember these trousers, and it's a shadowy kind of black and white memory, and I don't know, if that, but it was him or not, but I don't remember him. But people say, that for a couple of years, we were close. I don't remember him at all. That's like the only so I think that's my memory of him. It's weird. It's forgotten. And then the ultimate loss is in black holes, right? Black holes that just suck everything, into themselves, and even light that can't escape the event horizon. It's lost forever. So that kind of explains the illusion. I think the only other illusion is the dog that chased the girl through the room. That's maybe people remember the Twilight Zone, where the girl went into the fourth dimension from under her bed, and then the physicist. Luckily, there was a physicist living next door, and he came and he helped the family figure out how to get the girl out of the kind of the wormhole that was in the wall before it closed. The father was halfway in, and the physicist was holding his legs, and the dog was barking to the girl, and the girl followed the dog's barks, and of course it would be a dog that saved the day, because obviously dogs are more sensitive than people to other dimensions, right? Who the hell knows? Anyway, the forgotten. There you go.